Remember that wrist straps channel excess electrons through a cord connected to a common grounding point, while shoe grounders conduct those excess electrons to special static control flooring. Static control flooring contains conductive elements such as a carbon, graphite, or metals that direct electrons through the floor to a common grounding point. It only works in combination with an appropriate footwear, so it's important to use ESD shoes or shoe grounders. Static dissipative work surfaces and mats help prevent ESD events in an EPA. These mats slowly and safely conduct static charges through a cord to a common grounding point. If a charged object is placed on this surface, the charge will harmlessly flow to ground. If the same object is placed on a conductive surface, its excess electrons will quickly jump over in an ESD event. It's easy to let clutter build up on a workstation, whether it be decorations, personal items, or simply non-essential assembly tools. However, all these objects increase the risk of an ESD event. For example, a water bottle can easily acquire and hold a charge. The bottle can then induce a charge in nearby tools or components, and these can cause an ESD event if they come in contact with another conductive object. Therefore, it's important to remove all non-essential insulators like plastic water bottles, styrofoam cups, or sheets of paper from your workstation. All of the insulators that you need to do your job should be kept at least 12 inches away from static-sensitive assemblies when possible. Even the use of a static dissipative mat cannot guarantee that your personal photos or work instructions won't be the cause of serious ESD damage. Some insulators, like the plastic frames around your glasses, are impossible to do without. These essential insulators can acquire a charge and therefore cause an ESD event. That's where air ionizers come in. These devices neutralize the charges on nearby insulators. In order to be effective, the air ionizer must be turned on and directed where needed. Static removal solutions can also be used to remove electrostatic charges from essential tools and insulators. However, static removal solutions and air ionizers should never be used in place of grounding devices like wrist straps and static dissipative mats. Some facilities may also use ESD equipment such as special anti-static tools, chairs, and wheels for racks and carts. Be sure to follow all provided guidelines for using ESD equipment within your facility's ESD protected area. Access to EPA should be limited to people who have completed appropriate ESD training. Untrained individuals should be escorted by trained personnel. Inside the boundaries of the EPA, you are responsible for following and enforcing your company's policy on ESD control. You must remain alert to guests in your area because not everyone is aware of the potential dangers. Be sure to follow your facility's ESD control guidelines regarding requirements for guests or ungrounded personnel in the EPA. This operator needs to get a PCB from the table on the right. If they unplug their wrist strap, what will happen when they leave their workstation? An operator needs to put down a charged component while working on an assembly. Click on the table that is the better choice. Make this workstation ESD safe. Click and drag all unnecessary items to the black box. Click Submit when done. Before an assembly can leave an ESD safe work area, it must be packaged appropriately to protect it from ESD. Packaging comes in many forms, such as a bag, tote boxes, cases, and corrugated containers. There are two categories of ESD protective packaging: static dissipative and static shielding. Static dissipative packaging does not generate or hold a charge, even when components are moving around inside it. However, it will not protect the components from static charges on objects and people outside the packaging. Therefore, this type of packaging is usually recommended for use within an ESD protected area. Static shielding packaging both prevents the buildup of static electricity inside and blocks electrostatic discharges from outside. They are used in combination with static dissipative packaging to transport ESD-sensitive devices between EPAs and outside the facility. Despite their unique characteristics, ESD packaging will not work unless used properly. For example, using shielding packaging like a tray or an oven mitt is not a safe practice. The ESD-sensitive device must be fully enclosed and sealed to be protected from an electrostatic discharge. Static dissipative packaging is very useful as an intermediate packaging material that can be used as cushioning, but it must be placed inside a static shielding package. Be sure to use only approved packaging materials and follow your facility's guidelines for labeling packaged assemblies. An operator needs to safely package a PCB. Drag and drop the assembly to the different types of packaging in the correct order. Click Submit when done. An operator needs to safely package a PCB. Drag and drop the assembly to the different types of packaging in the correct order. Click Submit when done. An operator needs to safely package a PCB. Drag and drop the assembly to the different types of packaging in the correct order. Click Submit when done. Let's apply what you've learned in this module. The rules are simple.